So today, the topic of my presentation today is about leveling up your CX strategy. So we'll talk a little bit about the trends, the Contentsquare story, what are we trying to, our mission in the world, and also some of the exciting things that we're going to be bringing to you in the coming weeks and months. So we started the Contentsquare adventure, as I like to call it, a little over 12 years ago. And over these 12 years, with a lot of hard work, with a very clear vision, and a little bit of luck, we were able to achieve great success. So if you look at where Contentsquare stands today, we're very proud to be trusted by thousands of customers in the enterprise, but also millions of websites all over the world. We have a very large team today with a very significant investment in R&D because innovation is definitely the pillar of everything that Contentsquare stands for. We have a global footprint. We have customers everywhere in the world. We also have offices everywhere in the world, from Paris to New York to Tel Aviv to London to Munich to Barcelona, and much more. And every single day, we are collecting massive amounts of data for our customers on their behalf to help them get insights about their users and understand the behavior of their customers. We've also done a number of acquisitions along the year that help us advance our innovation forward, Hotjar being one of them, and I'm very lucky to have the opportunity to be here today because of that. And we've also raised 1.4 billion. Again, we take a lot of pride in the trust that many of our customers put in Contentsquare. We're trusted by some of the biggest brands all over the world, as you can see here, across different industries. And also here in Germany, it's no exception. We have 85 plus enterprise customers in Germany, and we have amazing German brands from retail and luxury like Birkenstock, Thalia, MediaMarkt, Zaton, Obi, and Hugo Boss. But also in travel, we have companies like Eurowings. In automotive, we have companies like BMW. And insurance, we have companies like Allianz and Roland Rechtsschutz. So we take a lot of pride in these partnerships, and we're very grateful for the partnership we've built with all of you. But in addition to our enterprises, you look at the global footprint that we have built over the years. We are installed on over 1.3 million websites. In Germany alone, we're looking at an additional 32,000 websites that use our products every day. So the common denominator between all of these people is one thing, is that they understand that experience is everything. They understand that today, more than the product, the experience is one of the biggest factors for why customers decide to choose one brand over the other. A good fun fact here is that the Gen Z customers, they would leave an app within 3 seconds if they find some friction and never come back. So the customer of today is unforgiving, and they have very high expectations, and that's why we need to do our best to give them the experiences they want. So if I imagine the future, if I think about what would the world look like in 10 years, I think the future, every experience will be instantly perfect. But what does perfect look like? Perfect can mean a lot of things depending on the person and depending on the costing. So for example, perfect could be intuitive and a joyful personalization. This means experiences that are hyper-personalized for you, that are omni-channel, that follow you wherever you are intuitive based on your behaviors and feelings. So brands will not only be able to understand your goals, but also understand how you feel, understand your mood, and adapt to it. So for example, imagine a world where we can understand if someone is stressed or not through a smartwatch or something like this, and then the experience changes to reflect that mood. Funnily, something I recently started using on Spotify, which is something they call Daylist, which is a new feature where they detect your mood over the day from previous things that you have done, and that playlist changes through the day based on what they have learned about your mood in the morning, your mood in the afternoon, and your mood in the evening. Perfect could also mean real-time adaptability. It means that depending on where you are, the context you're in, the experience can change to be perfect for you in that moment. So imagine if you're in the subway, you're on your phone, you don't have really great internet or something, and you want to make an e-commerce purchase. The experience can be bare bones. It can be very simple, minimum navigation just to get you to the product as quickly as possible. But when you're at home, you have the luxury and the comfort of all the time you need, great internet speed, and so on. We can give you the full experience. It can also be about anticipating your needs ahead of time. So basically, we predict that brands will be able to use predictive AI and predictive analytics and AI to basically anticipate your needs before you even have them. So imagine, for example, going to a restaurant, having dinner, and by the time you're asking for the check, the taxi is already called and waiting for you to take you back home. Also, um, perfect could be the being able to adapt to a world where the devices that we know today are not the only devices we use to interact with experiences. When we think about extended reality and how immersive these experiences could be, we've seen, the Apple Vision Pro, we've seen the Meta new Orion glasses, and a lot of these things that will happen where it will mix digital and real environment together. We expect a lot more of this to be happening in the future, but also because a lot of these interfaces are being woven into the fabric of everyday experiences, we expect the interfaces to be also very conversational. We will talk more with the computers that we're wearing more than just using them with touch or keyboards and so on. And then finally, there are other elements that we think will keep having bigger and bigger importance over time. Whether it's accessibility, making sure that everyone gets the perfect experience and frictionless experience that they have, irrespective of their ability, physical ability. Sustainable design, like a lot more emphasis on how we consume energy, for example, to drive these experiences, but also privacy is a really, really big factor. All of the consumers these days are a lot more conscious about privacy, and we predict a world that will be cookieless, where privacy is there by design in every experience that we build. So if this is the future we predict, where does the world stand today? Are we on track, or is there some work to be done to get us on track? So when we interview marketers, this 81% say that the companies their companies will compete mostly or completely on the basis of CX within 2 years. It's a very, very high number. So this is just to show that the importance that everyone is starting to pick up on these trends and understand that this is what we need to do and how we stay competitive. And the reality is, when we use products like Contentsquare that can help us have this insight to create amazing experiences, we actually see great results with our customers. We can see a lot of their business metrics improving over time, which we take a lot of pride of by being able to deliver tangible results to these customers. However, we also, every year, we do this report that we generate based on crunching massive amounts of data that we collect on behalf of our customers, and it helps us understand what are the trends that we're seeing. And unfortunately, despite all of what I'm saying here, and despite the great work that we're all doing, we see that 2 out of 5 experiences have frustration in them, whether it's a bad UX, whether it's an error, whether it's slow loading speeds. Experiences are far from perfect. And when we ask customers if they believe the experiences that they are building now are great for their customers, only 12% believe that the experiences they're shipping are experiences that their customers would love. So you can see that there is a really big appetite, there is a really big gap for everyone who wants to do better, to build better experiences for customers. So the question is, why are we so challenged in trying to create these amazing experiences for the customers if we all agree that we really want it? The reason is that it's not that easy. It's easier said than done, but when it comes to practice, it is super complex. The expectations, as we said, are through the roof. The journeys are more complex, multi-platform, multiple channels, and so on. And the technology creates a lot of opportunity, yes, but it has also created a lot of pressure on all of us to deliver and deliver fast in our jobs. So the challenge that every one of you, I'm sure, is facing today is, number one, the data is siloed and fragmented. Many tools that you're using where you can only get a small snapshot of one part of the experience. It's super complex. We have too much complexity in terms of the tools that we use, the data we collect, and the experience we try to build. And then finally, there isn't just enough time. All of this is time-consuming and very difficult, and we all try to do our best, but it's not enough. And this is this is the problem we've been working on solving for the past decade, and we will continue solving in the future. is to make that easier for all of you in your day-to-day. How are we doing this? Number one is by giving you a robust data set that is complete, unique, and that's a data set that you can trust. Number two, we want to help surface the insights on your behalf, so you don't have to do all the digging, you don't have to do all the work. We want to make them available to you with a click of a button. And number three, we want to make it actionable. Data and insights are not useful if you don't know what is the next best action that you can do behind it. So if you, sorry, apologies. So if you look at this completeness of the data set that I'm talking about, if you look at what we do today, you have the interactions across sessions, errors and performance, mobile and mouse movements, the catalog, the HTML of your website, the feedback, the rage clicks, all of these metrics. And all of these things, we make it available to you with little to no configuration. This comes out of the box immediately as you start using the product. We do all of this collection for you, no tagging plan, nothing that you have to do beforehand. And with this unique data set, we create this multi-dimensional view of your customers that can help you answer the very hard questions around how to make things better. And to demonstrate the point of this, the importance of this multi-dimensional view, I think we can play a short little game together just to demonstrate that point. So what we're gonna play now is we're gonna try to guess together which one of these two pictures will perform better across multiple dimensions. It will be A and B, and I will ask you to raise your hand to see which one you think is better. So let's see now, show of hands, which of the two pictures you think has higher engagement. If you think A, raise your hand. Okay. And if you think B, raise your hand. All right, so the A team won. A has more engagement than B. So now let's try another dimension. Let's talk about loading speed, loading time. Which do you think takes longer to load? If you think A, raise your hand. Okay. And if you think B, raise your hand. All right. So again, A won. A takes longer to load, so B is actually the better picture here. Then finally, let's look at let's look at conversion rate. A, raise your hand. Okay, B. All right, B wins again. So B converts better, but what about revenue? A, raise your hand. Okay, and B? Okay, and then finally, we'll do retention. Retention, A, raise your hand. No, 3 people? Okay, let's see. And then B? Okay, there we go. So you can see that there is many, many dimensions to everything, and it's very difficult for us to predict ahead of time how something that can perform, and maybe it performs well in something, but maybe in other areas it doesn't perform so well. So you need really this complete data set to help you understand. And then and this is what we're shipping with Contentsquare in this all-in-one platform. We'll give you this complete omni-channel all-in-one platform where you can really track user interactions across devices, and we accelerate everything with practical AI that we built in every part of the product to make your jobs easier and to help you achieve better results. And we'll talk a lot about these AI things, the AI features we're shipping in the coming few slides. And the reason why I wanted to mention AI or call it out explicitly, because I think we're all, seeing this unfolding in front of us every day. It's a big transformation, and we really need to really double down on it everywhere. And our vision for this is that we're taking AI from getting some assistance from AI to having more capability from AI with some human supervision, but eventually we want to get to the point where we can do full AI automation, where AI can work on your behalf and take tasks and act as agents end to end. So without further ado, I want to spend a few minutes maybe to show you some examples of some of the really cool things we're bringing to the product in the coming few days. So the first thing I want to talk about is web analytics. Web analytics is a very old industry, it's been here for a couple of decades. and it's been very rigid, very fixed, and we believe we can have a much better and much approach in web analytics that we can bring into the product, so you can have this complete understanding of your customers, including the performance of your web channels as well. So I'll show you a quick demo. So in this is the dashboard that you would be looking at when you enter the web analytics bit. You have some of the key metrics at the top. And I look at it here and I can see that my metrics are down, especially in the first one is the conversion rate that I was looking at. And I can see in the graph here that my acquisition rate is going down. So I want to dig into it a bit so I can go and start looking at the pages that I have on my website and the performance of how each page works. So I look at the table now of the pages that I have. I see all the pages where my customers are landing. And there is one page here that we just recently launched, and I can see there is something off here. If you look at my bounce rate, the bounce rate is super high. And I also have a lot of traffic coming on it. And then there are a couple of other pages that you can see are outliers here. So just with this very quick overview, one click, I can immediately see where are some of my key channels performing and what are the pages that are causing this performance drop, and I can drill down deeper into them. There is a variety of ways you can drill down deeper into all of these pages, but I'll just mention one cool example with AI here, because you can chat with our AI copilot and ask, okay, you can start doing this analysis and asking questions back and forth. And here, this is an example of a very simple question of, okay, I see this page, the bounce rate, what was it? The bounce rate was high, and I ask it to show me the list of session replays, and I can immediately go to the replay. The second thing we're also bringing to all of you is mobile analytics, doing a lot more and adding more capability to what we do in our mobile offering with auto capture and retroactive analysis, more than just crash analytics, and then in the end also multi-channel picture. So in this example, let's say I'm the product manager in a bank, for example, or a fintech company, and I want to analyze, now I'm also on my dashboard, and I want to analyze what is happening in my app sign-up completion rate. One of the things that are very common in mobile is the performance of push notifications. How am I using push notifications to bring customers into the app experience? So I go down and I specifically focus on the performance of my push notifications, which you see in this pie chart. There is a big part of it, the green part, which is about the notification people getting about their credit score, is doing well, it's fine. But when I look at the notification to get them to finish sign up, something is off. There is not really good conversion on this one. So now I started looking, okay, there's something that is wrong there. So how do I go deeper from there? I say, okay, I want to see the journey of how people land on that notification and go further in the product. So I go into journey analysis and I start seeing how the flow is working. And they're going through the sign-up form, filling different things, and I can see here, when they want to click submit, a big percentage of them, they go to the homepage instead. So this has to be something wrong here, because usually they should complete the sign up the sign up there. So when I look at the session replay for what is happening in this particular problem, I see the customer now going through the form and trying to press submit, but the button is obviously broken, and they keep trying to click it and nothing is happening, and they are rage clicking now because it's not working. And that's why they get frustrated and they go to the web and try to complete their journey. But the beauty of bringing all of these things together is that it doesn't stop here. What I can do also is I can say, okay, for those of the people, I know now people are rage clicking on this button and they cannot complete the sign up. I want to quantify the impact of this problem. How many other people have failed at doing this, and what does this mean for my business? So I see I missed 45 conversions, and these are worth $112,000 for me. So as a product manager here, it helps me very quickly not only identify what the issue was, but be able also to understand the magnitude of it so I can make the best prioritization decisions. And then finally, I want to talk to you about voice of customer. So your ability, adding the ability to create surveys and polls to ask from qualitative feedback from your customers. And that adds another dimension to that experience, where not only we're giving you quantitative data, but we also give you qualitative data to be able to understand your customers better. So I land on my Contentsquare dashboard. I see on the left here, at the bottom, voice of customer. I click it. And now I want to create a survey. But I want to basically understand how can I make the experience better, but I don't want to think through all the questions. So instead, I'll just ask the AI to do it for me. I will say, generate from goal. I go in, and I type the goal that I want to have. So I want to understand, I'm trying to match the typing speed, understand how purchase and checkout. So I'm asking, this is too slow, so I'll just move on. So I ask it to give me some questions around why customers are checking out or not and what the experience they have. It does it for me, generates all the questions, and if I like everything, I can change things if I want. But if I like everything, this entire process is one click and it's shipped to all my pages, and customers can start answering the survey, and I can start collecting feedback. So you can see here AI has made the job that would have taken maybe half an hour, it made it 30 seconds. But now the customers start filling in the feedback, and now I'm collecting a lot of responses, and now I want to analyze them, but it takes a long time also to analyze that. But then, also, with the beauty of AI, I can generate an AI report that goes through all the responses, reads every part of the response, and give me this easy-to-digest report with a summary at the top, with key findings, some quotes from customers verbatim, so that I can also use it as an example of how the customers are doing it. But also, as we will see once we scroll down a little bit, it will also give me some suggestions for how I can make things better. As you will see here in this next step section, I can see that it's giving me some ideas for what I should investigate. And there is one here about adding to cart functionality that seems to be off. So I want to learn more about this now. I didn't read the responses, but I want to double click on this problem. So what I go in, I filter some of my responses to try to dig deeper into this problem. I know that it's probably a mobile problem from the summary that I read, so I put the keyword mobile just to see what's happening. I start seeing people saying the experience is terrible and so on. I wish they were nicer, but that's the life. And then I want to know what's happening. So it's very easily, I can just click the button here, and it will take me immediately to the session replay, where I can see where they are having this issue, and we can see immediately right now where they will try to go to add to cart, and we will see that it will take us to the worst thing that anyone can see on the internet, which is the spin. It will just keep spinning. So you see, it helped me very quickly go from qualitative feedback to be able to understand why someone gave me this feedback. And remember, I can do the same thing. I can go quantify it now, and I can do all the prioritization and so on. So these three examples that I gave on web analytics, mobile analytics, and VOC are three new ways of you to be able to get more value and to be able to unlock more use cases, but also give you this more complete and more unique data set. And remember, yes, experience is everything, but it doesn't have to be hard. It's so much easier now with a lot of these things that were happening. So I hope you enjoyed the presentation. If you want to